Hello, and welcome back to Granny Dorothy Visits. Today's topic is, I make it a habit to be happy. And the first reading from Wayne Dyer's Everyday Wisdom is, the choice is up to you. It can either be, good morning, God, or good God morning. And the next one is from Julia Cameron's Blessings. And the quote at the top of the page is from Don Campbell. We are all, in a sense, music. And it's called, I am a flute for the music of God's love. I am a conduit for divine kindness to pour forth into the world. As I make of my heart a loving balm for those in difficulty, I find I too am soothed, for compassion pours out from me as a grace which heals me and heals others. There is no wound which is not benefit from human kindness. Compassion is divine in nature, but human in expression. As I resolve to be a gateway for kindness to enter the world, I am led myself into a kinder world. As I extend myself in generosity and warmth, my world becomes warmer and more generous. The vessel of my heart is sourced in God. Drawing on this divine source, my supplies of love are boundless. Remembering that divine love loves through me, I am able to love freely and without exhaustion. Drawing on universal love, I am able to cherish others and myself. And the last reading from Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking. In a railway dining car, I sat across from a husband and wife, strangers to me. The lady was expensively dressed, as the furs, diamonds, and costume which she wore indicated, but she was having the most unpleasant time with herself. Rather loudly she proclaimed that the car was dingy and drafty, the service abominable, and the food most unpalatable. She complained and fretted about everything. Her husband, on the contrary, was a genial, affable, easygoing man who obviously had the capacity to take things as they came. I thought he seemed a bit embarrassed by his wife's critical attitude, and somewhat disappointed too, as he was taking her on a trip for pleasure. To change the conversation, he asked what business I was in, and then said that he was a lawyer. Then he made a big mistake, for with a grin he added, my wife is in the manufacturing business. This was surprising, for she did not seem to be the industrial or executive type, so I asked, what does she manufacture? Unhappiness, he replied. She manufactures her own unhappiness. Despite the icy coolness that settled upon the table following this ill-advised observation, I was grateful for his remark, for it describes exactly what so many people do. They manufacture their own unhappiness. It is a pity, too, for there are so many problems created by life itself that dilute our happiness, that it is indeed most foolish to distill further unhappiness within your own mind. How foolish to manufacture personal unhappiness to add to all the other difficulties over which you have little or no control. Rather than to emphasize the manner in which people manufacture their own unhappiness, let us proceed to the formula for putting an end to this misery-producing process. Suffice it to say that we manufacture our own unhappiness by thinking unhappy thoughts, by the attitudes which we habitually take, such as the negative feeling that everything is going to turn out badly, or that other people are getting what they do not deserve, and we are failing to get what we do deserve. Our unhappiness is further distilled by saturating the consciousness with feelings of resentment, ill will, and hate. The unhappiness producing process always makes important use of the ingredients of fear and worry. Each of these matters is dealt with elsewhere in this book. We merely want to make the point at the present time and stress it forcefully that a very large proportion of the unhappiness of the average individual is self-manufactured. How then may we proceed to produce not unhappiness, but happiness? An incident from one of my railroad journeys may suggest an answer. One morning, in an old-style Pullman car, approximately a half a dozen of us were shaving in the men's lounge. As always, in such close, crowded quarters after a night on the train, this group of strangers was not disposed to be gay, and there was little conversation, and that little was mostly mumbled. Then a man came in wearing on his face a broad smile. He greeted us all with a cheery good morning, but received rather unenthusiastic grunts in return. As he went about his shaving, he was humming, probably quite unconsciously, a gay little tune. It got a bit on the nerves of some of the men. Finally, one said rather sarcastically, "You certainly seem to be happy this morning. Why all the cheer?" "Yes," the man answered. "As a matter of fact, I am happy. I do feel cheerful." Then he added, "I make it a habit to be happy." That is all that was said. But I am sure that each man in that lounge left the train with those interesting words in mind. I make it a habit to be happy. The statement is really very profound, for our happiness or unhappiness depends to an important degree upon the habit of mind we cultivate. That collection of wise sayings, the book of Proverbs, tells us that he that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. That's from Proverbs 15:15. In other words, cultivate the merry heart, that is, develop the happiness habit, and life will become a continual feast, which is to say, you can enjoy life every day. Out of the happiness habit comes a happy life. And because we can cultivate a habit, we therefore have the power to create our own happiness. I think I was going to stop there, but it's a lot longer. But okay, if you want to hear some more, okay. There must have been a reason I wanted to add more. The happiness habit is developed by simply practicing happy thinking. Make a mental list of happy thoughts and pass them through your mind several times every day. If an unhappiness thought should enter your mind, immediately stop, consciously eject it, and substitute a happiness thought. Every morning before arising, lie relaxed in bed and deliberately drop happy thoughts into your conscious mind. Let a series of pictures pass across your mind of each happy experience you expect to have during the day. Savor their joy. Such thoughts will help cause events to turn out that way. Do not affirm that things will not go well that day. By merely saying that, you can actually help to make it so. You will draw to yourself every factor, large and small, that will contribute to unhappy conditions. As a result, you will find yourself asking, why does everything go badly for me? What is the matter with everything? The reason can be directly traced to the manner in which you began your day in your thought. Tomorrow, try this plan instead. When you arise, say out loud 3 times this one sentence. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. That's from Psalms 118:24. Only personalize it and say, I will rejoice and be glad in it. Repeat it in a strong, clear voice with positive tone and emphasis. The statement, of course, is from the Bible, and it is a good cure for unhappiness. If you repeat that one sentence 3 times before breakfast and meditate on the meaning of the words, you will change the character of the day by starting off with a happiness psychology. While dressing or shaving or getting breakfast, say aloud a few such remarks as the following. I believe this is going to be a wonderful day. I believe I can successfully handle all problems that will arise today. I feel good physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is wonderful to be alive. I am grateful for all that I have had, for all that I now have, and for all that I shall have. Things aren't going to fall apart. God is here, and He is with me, and He will see me through. I thank God for every good thing. I once knew an unhappy sort of fellow who always said to his wife at breakfast, "This is going to be another tough day." He didn't really think so, but he had a mental quirk whereby if he said it was going to be a tough day, it might turn out pretty well. But things started really going badly with him, which was not surprising, for if you visualize and affirm an unhappy outcome, you tend thereby to create just that type of condition. So, affirm happy outcomes at the start of every day, and you will be surprised at how often things will turn out so. But it is not sufficient to apply to the mind even such an important affirmation therapy as I have just suggested, unless throughout the day you also base your actions and attitudes upon fundamental principles of happy living. One of the most simple and basic of such principles is that of human love and goodwill. It is amazing what happiness, a sincere expression of compassion and tenderness, will induce. So it was a little long. I think at first I was going to cut it off where I had stopped, but you can see why I had to continue, because it's just such good information to share with you, how important it is how we think and appreciate and feel God's goodness and joy. Look around how lucky I am to have these beautiful flowers, and I hope you've seen some of the birds flying by or can hear them singing. Just little things in life that lift our spirits and that are so wonderful, and here's one to be appreciated. Anyway, I hope you have a happy day. Always, I send you my love. Until next week, bye for now.